Number one Ibble Dibble here. Welcome to my review of Tom Bower's Revenge. Chapter 3, College. Meghan was a double major in drama and international relations. I swear you can't make it up. Princeton was Meghan's first choice. It's a rich kid's school, Thomas thought, but he agreed to ask a friend to help Meghan's entry. Despite her good grades, she was rejected. She was unhappy, Thomas noticed. She didn't like being turned down. Okay, so I'd like to provide context for non-Americans reading this or anyone who simply wasn't part of this swirl. In the US, the ancient prestigious academic institutions associated with wealth and pedigree are 8 schools called the Ivy League. Among them, Yale and Harvard are the most famous, but Princeton has always been the most selective. And I don't mean that in the snobbish sense, I mean that academically. Princeton only has around 1,000 students in each undergraduate class, ranking any lower than the top 10% of students at your high school and scoring any lower than the 99th percentile on the SAT, which literally stands for Standardized Admissions Test, actively works against your Princeton application. In what would have been Meghan's graduating class of 2003, a full 45% of admits were non-white and or non-American. So this is not about race, ethnicity, nationality. Furthermore, people like Thomas tend to believe you can buy your way into these places because they have that old boys club reputation. While Princeton does admit legacies at a higher rate than other Ivies, the stakes for admitting a student that will pull down their US News and World Report ranking are higher than people might imagine. I personally know 2 third and fourth generation dual parent Princeton legacies who were good students, like A students with SATs in the 95th percentile, that both got rejected. That kind of student, even 20 years ago, needed to come from a family making naming opportunity level gifts in the tens of millions and up. Thomas thinking calling a friend would make any difference really shows how out of his depth he was here. I also find it interesting that among the Ivies, Meghan would choose Princeton because Yale has long been renowned for having the best drama program with graduates like Elia Kazan, Meryl Streep, and Paul Newman. Speaking specifically of Black actors, without even clicking to the second page of alumni, I see Angela Bassett, David Allen Greer, Jeremy O. Harris, Sana Lathan, and Lupita Nyong'o. Knowing that Meghan was interested in Princeton rather than Yale makes me think she was more interested in getting an MRS degree than becoming a first-rate actress even then. Northwestern University in Chicago, ranked among the best for drama, was her next and successful choice. Securing a place to study theater and international relations at Northwestern was the entry card to the elite. She had chosen a private, highly selective college renowned as a favorite of rich, well-connected white students. She knew no one there. On admission, she joined the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority, famous for its Midwestern blondes. She pledged to be philanthropic, care about her sisters, and abide by the motto, "Aspire to be." Thomas automatically volunteered to pay the annual $45,000 fees. That's not to say Meghan is stupid. Northwestern is a selective school for good students with an admission rate of 9%, but that's still only half as selective as Princeton. It also has a completely different vibe. It's a Midwestern D1 school, so televised football games, Greek life, and the like. And to be clear about the school fees, to me that sounds like Meghan's tuition without books, housing costs, sorority dues, or anything else she might need. $45,000 was the base tuition. Sorority dues and fraternity dues, if you're curious, at that time anyway, topped out at around $6,000 a year. Some were only $2,000. It depended which organization you were a part of. Boyfriends were rated by a self-help dating Bible called The Rules, subtitled Time-Tested Secrets for Capturing the Heart of Mr. Right, written for women seeking marriage in the shortest time available. Meghan acquired a copy soon after its publication in 1995 and brought the book to campus. By then, she could recite passages by heart. In any relationship, recalled Pretty, there was always an element of marriage in the back of her mind. Each man was judged on how their domestic life as part of a team would look in 10 years. Thomas Markle noticed the same calculation. During his visits to Chicago, he heard Meghan predict, "That's my next boyfriend." Once identified, she successfully seduced the man. She fixed it, observed Thomas with awe. She had this ability to control men. She functioned so much better with a man around, he realized. She also saved money by moving into the boyfriend's home. She resisted the invitation from Professor Linda Gates, the head of the Voice program, to study acting in a theater. You can learn to be a great actress, Gates recalled telling Meghan, but I'm not sure she wanted to. Theater is where you learn to transform yourself and reach an audience, 6 or 7 nights a week. A star actress like Meryl Streep, trained in the theater, can completely transform herself and go deep into a character. But Meghan was playing herself, a pretty girl who is personable and intelligent. Throughout her life, Meghan never mentioned a theater performance she had seen or enjoyed. Like many aspiring cinema stars, she thought theater was dead. But pertinently, friends could also not recall her gushing about an outstanding screen show. Write your favorite West End, Broadway, or even local production in the comments below. I'm very curious how many theater lovers I have here. Meghan would later claim that she encountered closed-mindedness about her parentage and her parents' divorce at college. A dorm mate I met in my first week, she recalled, asked if my parents were still together. "You said your mom is black and your dad is white, right?" she said. I smiled meekly, waiting for what could possibly come out of her pursed lips next. "And they're divorced?" I nodded. "Oh, well, that makes sense." I understood the implication and I drew back. I was scared to open this Pandora's box of discrimination. So I sat stifled, swallowing my voice. However, Professor Harvey Young, who focused on African American theater at the college, did not believe that there was racism among the 15,000 students on the campus. He limited himself to a neutral observation, saying, "Meghan was thoughtful and understood what it means to face prejudice and discrimination." Very diplomatic, Professor Young. I believe the Mountbatten Windsors are looking for organizations willing to let them film for Netflix. Maybe you should email them. Still uncertain whether she would make it as an actress, Meghan asked her uncle, Michael Markle, by then a communications expert for the US government, to arrange a 5-week internship as a junior press officer at the American Embassy in Buenos Aires. I hated the idea of being this cliché, a girl from Los Angeles who decides to be an actress, she explained later. I wanted more than that, and I had always loved politics, so applied for an internship. Thomas paid for the study program. Towards the end of her stay, Meghan took the Foreign Service Officers Test, the preliminary to judge whether a candidate is sufficiently proficient to take the more demanding exam to enter the State Department. After never showing any interest in maths, a basic requirement to become a diplomat, she failed the 3-hour exam. There are 3 important exams from the day you take the first exam to the day you get hired. 95% of applicants will be eliminated. It's good that she failed anyway, because she's exactly what they're looking to eliminate. Someone working for the Foreign Service has to be flexible, unflappable, knowledgeable about history, geography, politics, current events, economics, willing to choose a cone and stick with it, not prestige or status oriented, and accepting of a government salary. I mean, I could hardly think of a job less suited for Meghan. Oh, and obviously, how could I forget? Able to keep secrets? Graduation from Northwestern in 2003 was joyful, though tinged with anxiety as Meghan prepared to return home. Financed by Thomas Markle, Meghan rented a home, bought a used car, and asked her father to pay for the petrol. He also converted her bathroom into a darkroom because she wanted to learn about photography. For additional income, she worked in turn as a gift wrapper, a calligrapher for wedding invitations, and as a hostess at Mirabelle, a restaurant in West Hollywood. Mirabelle's waiters were usually unemployed actors seeking parts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be doing a chapter a day to keep the corgis away. Toodaloo!